Further debate. I recognize the member for Nipissing.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I know the member from Kenora Rainy River is going to have lots to comment about that last speech. Here we are. It's one of these times when us friends from Northern Ontario really do collect and shake our collective heads at what we hear from the side of the government. And it's just so painfully obvious that members on this side of the government rarely can pick out Northern Ontario in a map, and we've just seen an example of that here. You missed what she had to say. You'd be insulted if you understood what she had to say and you live in Northern Ontario. Nonetheless, Speaker, I am very pleased to be able to speak to the motion brought by the member from Kenora Rainy River. Highways are the backbone of the transportation infrastructure in the north, and I hope you listen, because you might learn a little bit about Northern Ontario for a change. As I've said many times, roads and bridges are to the north as transit is to the south.
Okay, I'm going to ask the government side, please be respectful of the members speaking on this particular bill, and I'm going to return back to the member from Nipissing.
I'll repeat that. As I've said many times, roads and bridges are to the north as the GO Transit that she spoke about is to Southern Ontario. Four-lane highways are critical infrastructure, not only when it comes to economic development in Northern Ontario, but they also add much-needed measure and degree of safety. As you know, winter brings very harsh and quickly changing conditions to the north, and we've seen way too many fatal collisions on two-lane roadways over the years, where indeed weather is a factor. I want to make this point clear. Four-laning of key stretches of highways in Northern Ontario cannot and should not be a partisan issue. It took the commitment of governments of all stripes, PCs, Liberals and NDPs, over the years to complete the four-laning of Highway 11 to my riding in North Bay. It also took 40 years to do it. There's no doubt that that four-laning has saved many lives, and it has provided us with economic development tool to promote our area as a place to work, live and grow. But further, this shows that there needs to be a longer-term, non-partisan vision when it comes to highway infrastructure in the province. Announcing highway expansion projects just before or in the middle of election campaigns, as this government recently did, isn't helpful, nor is the political stalling that the government uses as a convenient excuse to further delays in the Ring of Fire. Last election they promised $1 billion. It's not there. It doesn't exist. And between now and June 18th, you can bet they'll announce another grandiose Ring of Fire promise in a bid to get elected. We've seen how hollow these are. I feel badly for the member from Kenora Rainy River, because we can't even get this government to commit to an east-west road critical to getting Ring of Fire development going along, let alone the four-laning of a stretch of highway. That said, let's look at this particular piece. It's a key east-west route. I'm not sure what the government has against east-west roads, Speaker, but this helps connect key centres like Kenora, Dryden, Fort Francis, with key economic centres in neighbouring Manitoba communities such as Winnipeg. It's actually easier to drive to Winnipeg to catch a flight than to Thunder Bay, in some instances because of this distance. Speaker, as stated before, I've seen the many benefits in my own riding after 40 years when Highway 11 from Toronto to North Bay was indeed four-lane, and I look forward to hearing from the member from Kenora Rainy River. Thank you.
Further debate. I recognize the member.